If you turn off your alarm every morning and go back to sleep, you are not lazy. You are simply losing the first battle of your day. And the person who wins the morning slowly wins their whole life. If you go to sleep every night saying, "Tomorrow I'll wake up at 4:30 a.m." But when the alarm rings, you turn it off and go back to sleep. Then listen carefully. You're not lazy. Your system is wrong. Waking up early is not just about motivation. You need discipline plus a smart strategy. First, get clear on your reason. Why do you want to wake up at 4:30 a.m.? Prayer? Study? Success? Self-improvement? Because a weak reason never creates strong action. Second, keep your alarm far away from your bed, so far that you're forced to stand up to turn it off. Because the real battle in the morning is not inside your mind. It's getting your body out of bed. Third, the moment the alarm rings, say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up. Don't think, because the more you think, the more likely you are to fall back asleep. Fourth, as soon as you wake up, do these 3 things. Wash your face, drink water, and turn on the room light. These simple actions tell your brain, sleep mode is over. And if you sleep late at night, still try to wake up at the same time in the beginning, because your body clock is trained more by your wake-up time than your sleep time. Remember this. Discipline does not mean being perfect. Discipline means doing the right thing, even when you feel tired. If you win your morning, slowly, you can win your whole life. Bruce Lee was only 32 years old when the world lost him. A man so fast, so powerful, so unstoppable, that many believed he was more than human. But then suddenly, he was gone. No warning, no final fight, no clear answers. And even after all these years, millions still ask the same terrifying question. Did Bruce Lee really die naturally? Or was something much darker happening behind the scenes? Bruce Lee wasn't just a martial artist. He was a revolution. He changed the way the world saw strength, discipline, speed, and fearlessness. He broke racial barriers in Hollywood. He inspired fighters, actors, athletes, and dreamers around the world. But the bigger he became, the stranger his final days looked. Unusual health problems, sudden collapse, confusing reports, and theories that still refuse to die. In this episode, we're going deep into the mystery to uncover the truth behind Bruce Lee's shocking death. And by the end, you may never look at his story the same way again. To understand why Bruce Lee's death shocked the world, you first need to understand who he really was. Bruce Lee was not an ordinary celebrity. He was becoming something much bigger. He had unmatched charisma, a body built like a weapon, a mind obsessed with mastery, and a philosophy that made him stand out from everyone else. Bruce Lee didn't just fight. He studied movement. He studied energy. He studied the human body like a scientist. His famous idea was simple. Be water, my friend. Flexible, powerful, unpredictable. And that mindset made him dangerous, not just in martial arts, but in the entertainment industry too. He wasn't following old rules. He was creating new ones. And when someone starts changing the system, they don't just gain fans. Sometimes they gain enemies too. By the early 1970s, Bruce Lee was exploding into global fame. Movies like The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, and Way of the Dragon turned him into a legend. He wasn't just acting, he was dominating the screen. Every movement felt real. Every punch looked deadly. Every stare carried intensity. Then came Enter the Dragon, the film that would help introduce Bruce Lee to the Western world on a massive scale. Everything was lining up. Fame, power, legacy. Bruce Lee was standing at the peak of his life. But behind the success, something was starting to go wrong, and almost nobody saw it coming. Before Bruce Lee died, there were warning signs, and they were disturbing. In the months leading up to his death, Bruce Lee had reportedly been dealing with physical stress, extreme pressure, and unusual health issues. He trained intensely. He pushed his body hard. He expected perfection from himself every single day. But Bruce Lee wasn't just under physical pressure. He was also carrying the weight of fame, business, competition, and personal expectations. Then came one of the most alarming moments. Bruce Lee reportedly collapsed months before his death. That incident should have been a major red flag. Something was happening inside his body. Something serious. But instead of slowing down, Bruce Lee kept moving forward. And sometimes, legends don't realize they're burning themselves alive until it's too late. Then came July 20th, 1973, the day everything ended. Bruce Lee spent part of that day discussing work and film-related plans. On the outside, it may have looked like a normal day, but by the end of it, he would be dead. At some point that evening, Bruce Lee reportedly complained of a headache. He was given medication. Then he laid down to rest, but he never got back up. When people tried to wake him, there was no response. The man who looked invincible, the man who moved like lightning, was suddenly gone. Just like that. No final speech. No dramatic ending. No last public goodbye. Only silence. And confusion. A lot of confusion. The official explanation for Bruce Lee's death was that he died from cerebral edema, which means swelling of the brain. According to reports, his body had a severe reaction that caused dangerous swelling. And that explanation became the public answer. Case closed, at least officially. But for many people, that answer never felt complete. Because Bruce Lee was young, strong, athletic, disciplined. How does someone like that suddenly die at 32? How does a man in peak physical condition collapse so mysteriously? And why did so many details around his death continue to raise questions? That's where the theories begin, and some of them are deeply unsettling. The official explanation for Bruce Lee's death was that he died from cerebral edema, which means swelling of the brain. According to reports, his body had a severe reaction that caused dangerous swelling. And that explanation became the public answer. Case closed, at least officially. But for many people, that answer never felt complete. Because Bruce Lee was young, strong, athletic, disciplined. How does someone like that suddenly die at 32? How does a man in peak physical condition collapse so mysteriously? And why did so many details around his death continue to raise questions? That's where the theories begin, and some of them are deeply unsettling. Over the years, many theories have tried to explain Bruce Lee's death. Some people believe it was a tragic medical emergency. Others believe there was something much darker behind it. One theory claimed that Bruce Lee died because of overtraining and extreme exhaustion. Another suggested a dangerous reaction to medication. Some believed hidden health conditions were ignored. But then, the more mysterious theories started spreading. People whispered about jealous rivals, industry pressure, hidden enemies, and even supernatural stories. Some said Bruce Lee had become too powerful, too influential, too disruptive. And when a man rises too fast, too high, people start looking for reasons he had to fall. Was there proof of foul play? Not enough to close the case that way. But was there enough mystery to keep people questioning it for decades? Absolutely. And that is why Bruce Lee's death never truly disappeared. It became a legend of its own. The reason people still question Bruce Lee's death is simple. His life didn't feel like it was supposed to end there. He was too young, too powerful, too unfinished. It felt like the story was interrupted, like a movie cut off before the final act. Bruce Lee had more to do, more to teach, more to build. And maybe that's why the world still struggles to accept his ending. Because deep down, people don't just mourn Bruce Lee. They mourn what he still could have become. A larger movie empire, a deeper martial arts legacy, a bigger cultural revolution. His death didn't just take away a man. It took away a future. And that kind of loss creates questions that never fully what is the real truth? Was Bruce Lee killed by conspiracy? Did his body finally collapse under impossible pressure? Or was it a tragic combination of stress, exhaustion, and medical disaster? The most honest answer is this. We may never know the full truth. And maybe that uncertainty is exactly why Bruce Lee remains unforgettable. Because some legends do not end with answers. They end with mystery. And Bruce Lee's final chapter is one of the greatest mysteries in modern pop culture history. But one thing is certain. Bruce Lee did not become immortal because of the way he died. He became immortal because of the way he lived.